workers. All right, that's right. Sorry, I got that wrong. Don't call me on that. Don't call me on that. All right. It's too early in the morning. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, but we're talking about we are talking about this was one of the largest strike authorization in American history. 340,000. Sorry, I had a couple of zeros again. 340,000 workers have authorized a strike from UPS. That is an enormous amount. That is the largest strike in American history. Danny and I were just talking. We think this is one of the largest strike authorizations and labor actions in the world going on. And when we do that, and when we're going to claim it right now, when we win that, we are going to raise that average, raise that standard for all workers. We cannot accept a dual standard where part-time workers and full-time workers doing the same labor are getting paid dramatically different wages. We can't allow for that. UPS made $16 billion in profit last year alone. 16 billion with a B. That is a level of richness and wealth that we really cannot wrap our minds around. They can afford a fee in our trucks. They can afford to pay part-timers equal wage. They can afford to pay people enough to live in New York City and across the country. They can afford to make sure that everybody can feed their babies, clothe their kids, and lead a dignified life for themselves and pay rent in New York City. It's not that much. It's not too much to ask for. Every single person in this country can lead a dignified life. And that is why what you all are doing is so incredibly important. I know I can't even imagine how hard it is. But we have done this before, and we have won before. Keep that in mind, and we will win again. And when you all succeed, you will leave a blueprint for the rest of the country and for workers all around the country who know that they deserve better in their lives. And so I'm so proud of you all. And I just want you all to know that we've got your back. From my office, we are writing letters of support. We are urging people. We are bringing leaders in front of Congress. We are holding hearings. We are putting the heat on our end. We're also going to make sure that everyday working people understand what's going on and that they've got your back too. The public support is real. It is there, and we will continue to ratchet it up all the way up until August 1st, if that's what we need to do, and beyond. If that's what needs to be done.
The facts, dates, and events presented in this video are from the members' best recollection and may not be fully accurate. This video is intended for entertainment purposes only. Always consult with your local union about your rights and duties at your workplace. The opinions shared on this video are our own and do not necessarily represent my employer's positions, strategies, or opinions. All views shared are protected under the National Labor Relations Act.
Nice. You are now in tune with the boss of the business, the What the Heck Show on UnionPowerRadio.com. Me.
So you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues. Until you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're just not that far apart on the issues.
I think she didn't get the message. We are that far apart. So thank you for listening to the What the Heck Show here, July 9th, 2023, 6 p.m. And I've been saying it all day. I've been on the radio all day, and I think I'm too loud. Here we go. We got to lower down that volume. And hold on, I gotta late to come. Jamie Holligan is getting on, and Pat, thanks for getting on time on the Zoom. Anyone that wants to get on the Zoom and see us, I guess see us, because that's where you see us, except Jamie, because he likes to hide from the camera. He's put a shirt on, man. You got a shirt on? Put a shirt on. Put a fucking shirt on, man. Put a shirt on.
I gotta stop the video.
Put a shirt on. Okay. Thank you for listening to the What the Heck Show here on Union Power Radio. Today, we're going to talk about what's going on with the contract and why is a complete halt on it, is a stop to it. The reason is because the part-timers, the company is not trying to give the part-timers money. And that's a big factor. I know a lot of full-timers by saying, oh, fuck the part-time. No, we don't fuck the part-time. They are part of the Teamsters. They are your brothers and sisters, and they deserve a raise. It's been a long time since this, even negotiated something for the part-timers. They always, when they doing campaign and they out there to get elected into office, they always say the part-timers, we're going to do this for the part-time. We're going to do that for the part-timers. And nothing was ever done for the part-timers. This time, Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman is putting their feet down and putting the company feet to the fire and saying, we want a better contract for the part-timers. Now, there's a lot of rumors out there that they already negotiated something with the full-timers, which no monies has been said out there yet. And I guess when Sean O'Brien is ready to talk about it, and I guess he don't want to put it out there because this is what the company's going to do. They're going to try to use the full-time versus the part-timers. If we put that money out there. So that's going to be the problem. They're going to tell the part-timers that, or the full-timers actually, yeah, we gave the IBT this, and they should just send it out to the members and ratify it and send it in for a vote. Sean O'Brien is not trying to hear that. He's trying to hear that the same wages or whatever they're going to get for the full-timers is going to get for the part-timers. And he's not gonna settle for less. The company did say at the last meeting that they have nothing else to offer the Teamsters. Well, we got something to offer you. We are doing a lot of practice picking out there, and if you see it across Facebook, it's all over the United States. 340,000 Teamsters already and practicing to be in that picket line. And you can tell by the Facebook how pissed off those Teamsters are. Here in Mount Vernon, I did a practice picket. They were pissed off, and I'm glad that all the Mount Vernon guys came out. Some of them won't come out because, some of them are management ass kissers, which was going to be called scabs because they probably will cross the fucking picket line like bitches. But anyway, we'll handle that when the time comes. But, you don't want to you don't want to cross a picket line when it's a strike going out there. You're not going to get anything done to you, like physically. You're going to get your emotions might be torn up when you walk through that line and you got guys calling you a fucking scab. Your emotions, technically or not technically, but you're going to have guys doing that because some guys feel that we shouldn't be going on strike. We haven't gone on strike in over 20 years, since 1997. And back then in 97, they did a strike for 2 weeks. I don't think if we go on strike, we're not going to go 2 weeks. I think it's going to be less than 2 weeks because the company ain't that dumb that the stock will start going down. They'll start losing customers, and they don't want that. They're doing that now. They're crying that now. They're crying that they want that the Teamsters are not negotiating in good faith. Bullshit. You guys, the company is not negotiating in good faith. These motherfuckers want to save every goddamn penny they have. They may, and let me correct it from last week, because this week I got a text from someone correcting me on what I said last week. And it's okay. This is a live show. I don't do editing. I speak straight up. This is how it is. There's no script in front of me. There's no one with a hand in my ass telling me what to say. This is what I do. This is a freedom of speech, and I'm off the clock, and I'm doing this all on my own to educate the members of what's going on out there. So someone sent me a text. Let me get the text saying that I was wrong with the $100 billion profit. It was $17 billion profit that they did. Okay, I got it. So 17. Well, Sean O'Brien keeps saying $100 billion profit out there. I guess I'm the only wrong one. So it's $17 billion that they did in profit. So I'm gonna fix that because somebody told me to correct it. Also, I'm going to correct the fact that the AC's in the truck. I said last week, because I don't get information, that they're probably going to put the ACs in the back of the truck and restrict it to 70 degrees or whatever, and it'll turn on at 70. So I got a text saying, and I get a lot of texts, guys. I get texts from you guys. I get texts from people out in the country, and this is what they said. That the ACs will be in front of the truck in the cab, and in the back it will be vent better. Ventilated better than and it's no 70-degree regulation, so it's not going to set it up to 70 degrees. Now, also, I got here that it says out of 93,000 package cars and vans, the company committed to at least 28,000 of the new trucks with AC over the next 5 years. Let me tell you something. That's going to take longer because in the last 5 years ago, we had in the contract saying that if a driver requests a fan into your truck, the only thing you have to do is tell the mechanic, and the mechanic will put the fan in your truck. There's guys still waiting to this day from 4 or 5 years ago, waiting for a fan in their truck. So let's see how long that's going to take. And that's exactly what the company's going to do. They're going to entertain the IBT and entertain us and tell us what we want to hear. And then, and then do what they want to fucking do. And that's what they do. They agreed to a article, and they fucking violated to the fullest. So also, like I sent that 50% of the show post is coming back to the company, to us, to the Teamsters, to the union workers. 50%. I say we should have had 100%, and 50% is not really whatever. I guess is a little bit of something, and the PVDs and all that other shit. Now on my screen, I'm going to be sharing some things on my screen. I think I forgot how to do it, but let me see it. Here we go. Hopefully,
What about the PVDs? I didn't hear anything about them yet.
I didn't hear about anything about PVDs either. So your whatever it is, it is. Here we go. Okay, so here. So what on the screen on Zoom, if you guys, whoever's on Zoom, could see the screen. Guys on Zoom, can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, we can. Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for answering. So here we have, it says what we won. We won the two-tier language out, which is the 22.4 language gone. And those guys going to be regular drivers now. No force 6-punch, which was never here in Local 804. We already have that language that is no force in 6-day, but that's in other locals throughout the country that now they cannot get force a 6-day punch. We got Martin Luther King's Day as a pay holiday. That is a little tricky right there. Is it a pay holiday? Are we going to have it off? Or are they going to do one of those holidays that if you want to work, you get triple time? That's not explained. They don't explain much there. It just says Martin Luther King's birthday pay holiday. So it could be one of those holidays that, you request the day off or you work it and get the triple time. I don't know. I'm sure they'll explain it better. Air conditions and more fans. Okay. That's what they want. More air conditioning and more fans. I mean, air conditioning and more fans. So we'll see about that. Strong 9.95 and 8-hour request protection. Okay. And then no inward facing cameras and protection against subcontracting and PVDs and much more. Much more is what? So the first flyer, if you guys see it on Zoom, it was put out a while back. It says our union is negotiating a new contract with UPS. We are trying to make UPS deliver for part-timers and all UPS Teamsters. So on their flyer on the Teamsters United, it says higher pay, MRA abuse, part-timers starting wages at least $25 an hour, additional catch-up raises for all current part-timers. So now they put on a different flyer out, which is to the right, and they put higher wages, stop UPS from abusing the MRA. They took away the $25. Now, I'm sure Sean is telling them this is what he wants for the part-timers, which is $25 an hour. Are they going to get the $25? No, that's called bargaining. You start up high and whatever it lands in the time in between that, between that is good for the part-timers, Sean O'Brien is definitely going to put it out for the Teamsters. So I'm sure Sean O'Brien went high, definitely went high. He never goes low. He goes high, and the company probably fucking gave him a slap in the face saying, here, this is all we have to offer. They put out a leak. It was a leak out there that when the proposal from the company saying that they wanted to give the full-timers $2.85 for the next 5 years, that's a fucking slap in the face. And I'm sure Sean O'Brien went high on what he wants for for his members, for the IBT, for the membership, for everyone. I'm sure he went high. So this is the company trying to play the card of full-time versus part-time. And it's not going to work, guys. You shouldn't let that happen. You shouldn't, if the numbers come out of what full-time is going to get, never settle for that until the part-timers get the same amount of raises that they deserve. They work so damn hard to put those packages, 4 cars, 3 o'clock in the morning. They always up there. Some of them are good. Some of them they need a little bit of help because they have off routes. But that's the name of the game. You teach, but they got 4. Remember, they have 4 cars, and they're loading over 1,000 packages in those 4 cars. They deserve the better than minimum wage. Okay, some here in New York, their start rate here is $16.35. $16.35 for a union job. This is bullshit. This is not good. You have Amazon people working and starting at $19 an hour. First day in the job, $19 an hour, and they get benefits right soon. What is the Zoom? The Zoom link is on the Union Power Radio page. If you go to the Union Power Radio page, you'll see the Zoom link there. You just click on that and you go right into the Zoom. So anybody got something to say? Someone's talking? No, I guess not. So anyway, so on the right side on the screen, you see that major increases in part-time starting rate. They changed it from saying part-time starting rate of at least $25 to a major increase in part-time starting rate. Obvious, Sean O'Brien don't like what they gave to Sean before he left for the break. So I think it only shows so you got to go to the Zoom link. You got to go to the Zoom link. If you scroll down, you'll see the Zoom link and you log on to that. So anyway, so that is that. Additional catch-up raises for all current part-timers. I don't know what that means. I guess they're gonna catch up. Create new full-time 22-3 jobs. Well, we did get Martin Luther King birthday as a paid holiday. improve of grievance procedures, and improve part-time pension. That's a good thing too, a part-time pension, because the part-time pension is, a part-time pension is, is whack. So it should be a part-time pension increase. So, Sean did a lot of media this week. He was all over the media, NSG, CBS, Good Morning America, which he's been all over the media. And all the questions the media guys ask is, you're going to cause a disaster in the economy and the packages. They should be not asking that question to Sean, because Sean is saying it straight up in every media platform and in our platform. If we're going to go on strike, it's not because the Teamster wants to go on strike. It's because the company is not giving to our demands. That's what he's saying. He says, if we're going to strike, it's going to be because you guys want to strike. All you have to do is give into the demands that are given, and it's not that much. You guys may, and now here it is on the screen, UPS made over $13 billion in profit. You have room. You have more to give. You can give to the part-timers. It's funny that they don't want to give to the part-timers now during peak season. It says, they put $20 for the guys to help them, to pay for let me get this straight. Some buildings in New York City which is Yonkers and up in Westchester, they start those seasonals at $20 an hour. And then if they make it, or if they stay with the company, they get dropped back down to minimum wage, which is $16.30. Which is a slap in the wrist. Now you could afford to give them $20 an hour during the peak. Why can't you just do it across the table throughout the all locals and give us the $25 for the part-timers? If you give us $25 for the part-timers, first of all, you're going to have happy part-timers. You're going to have part-timers that's going to, come to work and realize that, now they have a union paid job now, because right now it's just fucking minimum wage. You won't have a high turnover. You'll have happy part-timers, and you'll have the attendants to come to work and get this company to be more successful and with more billions of dollars in profit. But they don't think that way. They don't think that way. This company doesn't think that way. They feel that the part-timers don't deserve more than what they already gave. Now, I don't know what they offered to the part-timers from the IBT. No one knows. No one knows. Everyone says that there was going to be an update on the app. I went on the app twice today to see an update. All I see is about the practice of the picket line. If anybody from Local 804 Brush Avenue, we're going to have our practice picket line on July 11th at 7:45 a.m. And we want everyone there. We want politics. We want everyone. We want this company to understand that we mean business. And it's throughout the country that's showing. I see a lot of people, a lot of members out there with the signs and cheering and saying, and that's only a practice run. So the company is going to, is playing with fire with Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien is not going to be, taking it like Hoffa there. I mean, I'm sure if Hoffa was in charge right now, it would have been a whole different story. We probably wouldn't have got that 2/3 rule taken away because, the Hoffacers, or he would have extended this contract to let the company breathe a little bit. I'm glad what Sean O'Brien is doing. Sean O'Brien is really is putting their feet to the fire and telling them, you give everyone a better contract or else you're going to be striking yourself. Now, there's a lot of things out there. The rumors that Sean put out that, Sean didn't put out this rumor. I'm saying other people put out the rumor because Sean didn't talk about anything about monies and anything like that. But it was a rumor out there that Sean, started out at $10 an hour for the raise for the next 5 years. So, $10 is pretty good. Only because of the fact, because in the past contracts, we only got $4.15 for the 5 years, $5. I don't even think we've reached $5 in the past contract, but that's per 5 years. So when they negotiate that split shit and the split whatever, it's a 5-year thing. So him going up high with, I hope he win higher than that, but I saw someone put it on Facebook that he started out with $10 an hour, and is union is asking for 9 over 5 years. Company wants 7. Someone just put on the chat that the company wants 7 and the union put out $9 over the next 5 years, which is still great compared to the other past contracts that we got $4.15, $4.50, or whatever the case may be. Part-timers turn over in part of the UPS business more. Longest time is in. Okay. So the thing is this, where the holdup of the contract right now, it is not really a holdup because, our contract expires on July 31st, 2023 at midnight. So it's not really a holdup. It's just a gap between now and July 31st. Sean O'Brien thinks that they're going to come to the table, and someone just called me. I'm going to call you right back. Hold on. Let me see who you are. Hold on. Someone called me and I didn't get the call. I don't know why.
So while you're doing that, I guess I'll say what I can say if you don't mind.
Hold on. I just want to see who's on the phone. Union Power
Oh,
Radio.
okay.
Hello? Hello? Anybody on the phone? Guess not. So anyway, go ahead, Jamie.
No, I was just going to say, even though they're fighting for a higher part-time raise, I think there should be a higher guaranteed hourly, how many hours they can work, because even though you're getting a higher part-time raise, what if you're still only getting 3.5 hours when you can go elsewhere still and get a higher raise, higher starting pay, and you can get more hours versus 3.5. You can get 6 hours at Amazon or 5 or whatever, or even Target or McDonald's. You're getting more hours. So the hours need to increase too, not just the raise. Just my opinion.
What do you mean by hours?
Meaning every day when they come in, they only getting 3.5 hours. They're kicking them off the clock
Oh, okay. I from the part-timers you're talking
for the
about.
part-timers.
They have a guarantee of 3.5 hours.
Right.
You want to up the
It
3.5?
it should be at least 4 or 5, in my opinion.
Right. Well, in the contract, and in our contract, it says a guarantee of 3.5, which they also violate. And I put in tons of grievances of 3.5 guarantee. But guess what? Our members are doing it to themselves, because
Right.
what they doing is they accepting to leave before their 3.5 hours.
Right.
Okay. If the work is not there and is not available, they are guaranteed 3.5 hours. But the members are leaving before that time. And even I put the grievances in, they are signing waivers. They are signing to waive their 3.5 hours. And it's tons of them, tons of grievances that I put in, because I look at the recap and I see guys working for 2 hours, 2:10, 2:15, and I put in a grievance for guarantee 3.5. So if we can't get them to even stay 3.5 and the company is violating the contract, what do we got to do to raise up how the guarantee is? So what? So they can leave at 3.5 and not get the guarantee 4? They can't even stay with the guaranteed 3.5. So
Do
how
you
do we
think
how
they
do we fix that?
do you think they even know that they're guaranteed 3.5? Because
Yeah.
I see a lot of them that don't even know that. They're under the belief that once the work is done, or assume the work is done, and management tells them they can go, they gotta go. So a lot of them don't even know that.
You're right. Some of them did not know, but they know now that they are guaranteed 3.5, because what's happening is that when I put in the grievance to the manager about the 3.5, he goes up to them with a shop steward present and asks them, they want to waive they guarantee. And it's crazy it is, they fucking sign it. Even though the shop steward's telling them don't sign it, you're waiving away your 3.5 hours. They were like, no, I just want to get out of here. I just want to do what I got to do and get out of here. So they abuse them for the first 2 hours, get everything out of them from 2 hours, and then they only pay them 05, which is actual time at 2 hours. But on the recap, when I see that, I grieve it anyway. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I have to give him 1,000 grievances that he has to sign, and then getting pissed off about that, because now I've been seeing a lot of 3.5 hours and not so many. It's like a hand, maybe 2 or 3 guys that are under 3.5 hours. So they're paying them. They are now keeping them 3.5 hours.
So who's pissed off with you? The members or management?
Excuse me?
Who's pissed off? The members or management now that they have to stay 3.5 hours?
Both, believe it or not.
Wow.
The management is pissed off because I'm putting in all these grievances, and the members are pissed off that I'm putting in those grievances. So I'm in the middle of the part-timers and the management being pissed off at me. And that's the problem, because management is saying, hey, listen, I'm willing to let you go and go home, but I'm getting all these grievances from your business agent. And, I'm going to have to keep you here to the 3.5 hours because, I can't be doing all this paperwork. And so now they telling the part-timer that, so the part-timer can get mad at me because I'm for enforcing the contract. Yes, there is no ops. There's no ops in the language in the contract. Absolutely. That waiver is a UPS waiver that they made together. Go ahead, Pat, what's up?
Well, I want to chime in on that a little bit. So I think part of the problem is because they don't make enough money. So probably some of those part-time members come in for benefits. And as you know, you get one punch a week. Doesn't matter if you work 15 minutes or you work an hour, you keep your benefits, correct?
Part-time is with the team care. You got to work 1 day out of the week.
Okay, but it doesn't matter what you punch in, right?
It doesn't matter.
Correct. So like I'm saying, if they, at this point, if they care only about the benefits, that's what they care about. But if we get them more pay and the money is better, then maybe they will care if they work at least 4 hours.
Absolutely. It's definitely the more pay. And this company is going to try to do whatever is possible that they can do is to put the part-timers versus the full-timers. They're going to put out stuff out there, believe me, of this contract. They're going to try.
But I want to also chime in on one more thing when you started the show. What I really like is that you corrected the stuff from last week, because I heard about some of that stuff. You know what I mean? And you corrected it, and it was the right thing to do.
Well, if I'm wrong. I mean, this is a live show, and I say what I get from social media or people sending me text messages.
I get it.
I take everybody's messages, and I put it together. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I know how to take an L. I know how to put an L on my forehead and say, hey, I'm a loser because I didn't know certain things. But this is why we educate each other.
But here's just one of my things to point out, because you are held, unfortunately, to the highest standard. You know why? Because you are a BA for Local 804. So people think you are more informed than anybody else sometimes.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm less informed.
No, but you're a BA.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You
I'm
laughing
on
at
the phone.
Rockwood?
So what? So what? I'm a fucking BA. I'm fucking just like you. I pay fucking union dues just like you.
Hold on,
I
but
get-
I'm not
Listen,
part of it. Hold on. I'm
it's
not part of
because I'm
that
in the
board.
office. Just because I'm in the office doesn't mean I get the first information.
But I'm saying what the perception might be. Listen, people from a steward. I'm just a steward. People might think that you know more than me behind the scenes than I do. So that's why I take your word for it before they take mine.
Wrong.
Why wrong?
Because listen, you might know the contract better than I do. And I'm in
But
the
it's not about the contract.
it is about the contract.
It was
It's
put
about
out.
information in the contract, correct?
Okay.
So the information that I get it from either social media or I haven't got anything. It's not like we sit around the union hall and talk about what's next, what's happening next and all that. That's not the way it works in the union hall.
But
We
people
have
don't know
jobs-
that. But
we
people
have,
don't
well,
know
I'm
that.
going to explain to you right now, okay,
Thank
what
you.
happens
Thank
in a union hall. So we have the principal officers that's in the IBT trustee, and he's in the committee, in the negotiation committee. We can't hold accountable what Vinny is there, and he's busy doing negotiations. He really don't have time to call us and say, this is what happened. This is what you got to know. We wait till he has time to talk to us about what is going on and to get it to the members, The problem that I have is when the member comes up to me and says, what's going on? I only could tell him what's on that app, on that Teamsters United app, and what I see on Facebook.
I get it, but
I don't get privilege. I don't get privilege for information.
I'm not saying about privileged information, but some of the stuff that you put out on the show last week was actually out. Yeah.
Well, the only thing that it wasn't accurate that the ACs are not going to be in the back of the truck.
Correct.
They're going to be in front of the truck, right?
Yeah, and the 70 degrees and couple
the
of
70 degrees. That's I got a text saying that's not the way it works. See, the problem is this. For that information, this is the information I got. The information that I got was the AC was going to be in the back of the truck, and it's going to be content to a 7-degree restriction. That's the information I got before I got the text.
Where did you get the information from?
From some source in the IBT West Coast. I'm sorry, West Coast Central States.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I try to look at stuff that I get and try to look for more research on it to see if it was accurate of anything like that before I put it out. Now that comment was sent to me and it was an accurate comment because I called somebody else and they said the same thing and I trust this guy. But they
corrected it.
And listen, it was corrected, but even though it's corrected or not corrected, just like the whole $100 billion profit, I had to correct that because everybody was texting me saying they didn't make $100 billion. They made $17 billion in profit. Who gives a fuck? The company is making a profit. 17 million, 100 million, or whatever, 200 billion. Who gives a fuck? They are making a profit. So what? You know, Sean O'Brien is putting it out there, $100 billion profit. Now I'm the bad guy because I said 100 billion instead of 17 billion, whatever.
You were the bad guy because you weren't specific enough. It's okay. Like you said, it's a live show. I get it.
Whatever. People want to get bent out of shape, whoever, who can. Listen,
I didn't get bent out of shape.
I'm sitting on a chair right now. I'm not sitting with someone's hand behind my ass and telling me what the fuck to say. So
nobody's saying that.
Right. So that's what it is. I correct myself. If I'm fucking wrong, I'm fucking wrong. I don't know everything.
Hector,
I wish I did.
Because I might have to come down to Brush Avenue and pay you a visit.
Yeah, to do what? What are you going to
give you a hug? Give you a hug.
I don't need no hugs. But anyway, so I'm glad you brought it up on air that I always do correct myself, no matter what. I don't give a fuck. It doesn't shame me if I said something and it's not even a correction. It's just a fucking different number, whatever. So what if you get AC in the front and the back when the company gives it to you guys, when the company puts it in, because that's going to be another factor, because they could say, oh, yes, we won AC. Yeah. Don't worry. You ain't going to see it for the next fucking 5 years. That's what's going to happen. You know, the AC, I'm totally against the AC only because of the fact that I know how much work it's going to be for the business agents throughout the whole United States.
Probably.
Everyone, the guys in Vegas, they deserve an AC there 100%. We all deserve an AC to be cooled off and all that. But we have to watch ourselves. We have to watch ourselves with the fact of stealing time.
Well, that was my point, Hector. You're right. And like they said, from what I heard, that the first cars that are going to get the ACs are going to go to the regions that need it most. And I agree. The guy in Arizona, the guy in Nevada, the guy in Florida probably wants that AC in the cab. Do I really need it that bad in New York in the cab? Probably not. And I'm glad we're getting improvements in the back, because for me personally, and I'm a driver, it's the back of the car. The front of the car, I drive with the doors open anyway, and I stop every 2 minutes or whatever, every minute and a half. What is it really going to do for me? Maybe a little bit, maybe to and from the route. It'd be great. I could close the doors and have it. But while you're on the route, and especially if you have a lot of retail, which is not me, you're in and out of the truck so often that it's not going to really do much. But I'm happy about the stuff that they're going to improve in the back, because I think that's my real problem.
So last contract, they agreed on putting fans on every truck unless until you request it, you'll get a fan in your truck.
I got one.
I have a driver that put in a request 4 years ago and still haven't got a fan in his fucking truck. Okay. Now they're coming with new trucks with 2 fans that blows nothing but hot air and a vent in the back.
Is that in your building, Hector, that some trucks don't have a fan?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I could tell you that in Melville, they pretty much, I can't say for 100%, but I think they installed a fan in every truck.
And every truck in my building too. Practically, that's
really?
what the mechanics said they had to do.
Really?
Yeah, one of the mechanics
They were
that was
instructed.
So the
They stopped
mechanic
doing everything else. They were instructed to do the fans.
So the mechanic is saying that they don't have fans to install, that they back ordered or whatever the case may be. Someone in Facebook the other day put out that they had a truck full of fans and they were starting to put fans into the truck now. And, why does it take this much and a person to faint, a person to get overheated for the company to respond? And this is what they do. They always respond late.
You want to laugh? I tell you why.
Why?
Supply chain. I don't know. Because I tell you that one mechanic in our building was actually put specifically, he was taken off duty to fix cars, do whatever he was doing. And he was told that he cannot stop until he installs fan in every vehicle in Melville. That's what I was told.
Well, whatever.
But every building is different. I'm not saying to contrary in your building, Hector.
Yeah, well, that's the boogie down Bronx. Anyway. Melville already had their practice picket line, which was a big.
It was great.
It was a lot of people there.
Can I talk for a minute about it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was on a Thursday last week. Well, this week is still Sunday. On Thursday, attendance was great. People who were on vacations showed up. Attendance was awesome. One of our drivers had a source at Channel 12 News. 12 News showed up. We made the spot on Thursday. It was 3 different spots on Channel 12 News. It was great. The guys had a good time. It was hot. It was sweaty, and people were there. And we made a good point.
So the question to all of us that's on the panel right here on Zoom, and I'm sure there's some others, that anybody wants to chime in, they can call 347-403-0705. So Sean says that, the contract talks were over and done because the company final word to Sean says, we have nothing else to offer you guys. And now we're going to hold up this contract. I believe I'm with Sean, and I'm glad that that he's not taking shit from this company and he's putting them to their feet to the fire, and they're going to learn. If they didn't learn back then, they're going to learn now that we are serious. The practice picket lines are out there all over the country. Here in New York, we hit them hard on the practice line. I think we saved the best for last, because the last building to do a picket line, practice picket line, is Brush Avenue in the Bronx. So anybody that's not scared of the Bronx could come down to the Bronx and hang out with your brothers in the Bronx and be on that picket line. We're going to do a practice run. I went through the whole thing with the members of the do's and don'ts of what you do in a strike, just in case no one gets in trouble, no one gets fired. This is only a practice run throughout the whole United States, and our local definitely put it out there, and we did a lot of things. Dan, what's up, Dan?
Hey, Hector, how are you, brother?
What's going on, bro?
So I'm the local 404 that was texting on the live because I couldn't find the Zoom link. I had to text one of the other members to get the link. So
yeah, it's on my Union Power Radio page and Facebook. Yeah, I always put it there.
Anyways, I know some of what you guys have been talking about, but something I wanted to bring up is this seems to be a growing feud between the part-time and the full-time. And I think that some of it is being perpetuated by the company because it's exactly what they want us to be doing. My understanding is that the union and the company are not that far apart on the full-time wages, but that negotiations broke down over the part-time wages. And I've seen over the different chats on Facebook, quite a few full-timers and part-timers going at it over what should be happening. And just some of the things I want to bring up is some people may or may not know that back in 1983 was actually the first two-tier pay system at UPS. Prior to that, full-timers and part-timers got paid the same exact money per hour. And in 1983, they changed that and created a two-tier pay system. And one of the examples I like to keep bringing up is the fact that there's 2 full-time preloads in Massachusetts, and the rest of the country loads part-time. So preload, whether it's part-time or full-time, is exactly the same job. The only difference between the two is one works approximately 4 hours and loads about 3 cars per person, and our full-time preload loads about 8 hours, approximately 6 trucks per person. But it's exactly the same job. Our preload makes the same exact rate as the drivers, and the rest of the preload across the entire country makes nearly 1/3 of that amount. That's garbage to me, right? I mean, first of all, an hour of labor is an hour of labor, right? Just because somebody works part-time doesn't mean that their hour is worth any less than the full-time person. I mean, let's just look at it this way. On an 8-hour shift at $40 an hour, the full-timers make it $320. The part-time preloader works 4 hours, and if he's getting the same 40, he's making 160. Isn't that 160 a big enough difference? I mean, do we really want our part-timers loading at $15 an hour and only getting paid $60 compared to $320 for the same freaking job? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. And go ahead.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was going to ask you a question where you're local, and it's different rates throughout the United States on part.
Well, I understand that, and the numbers I'm throwing out, obviously, depending on your area, it's going to be a little bit different. But my overall point is, our full-time preload gets paid the same exact rate as drivers, right?
Are you saying $40 an hour?
Well, 40 and change or whatever the current rate is in our area. Our preloaders make the same exact money as drivers do because they're full-time preloaders.
Wow.
Right. So why do people who work part-time doing the same exact job, why is their hour worth of labor worth anything less when it's the same exact job? Right. Not to mention the fact that, I hear some people, refer to part-timers as being lazy. If they want more money, they should work full-time, whatever. There's a couple of things on that. First of all, you have some people like single mothers who may not be able to work full-time because they're the primary caregiver of their children as well, right? So they're supposed to live in poverty because they can't work full-time. Or how about the other side of that? The fact that, some of these guys go to work at UPS and wait for a full-time job, but years go by before they ever get that opportunity, right? Now, if we forced UPS to pay those part-timers the same as full-time per hour, but as a part-time, meaning less hours, the company would be more apt to create more full-time jobs, because then they would only have to pay one set of benefits instead of two set of benefits, right?
Right.
But right now they don't care about that because they're paying the part-timers so little, it doesn't bother them that they have to pay two sets of benefits. They're still saving money.
Wow. But this is the problem here. Sean wants it across the table. Whatever raise that he's getting for the full-timers, and someone just put it up there that he's asking for 9 over the 5 years, and the company is willing.
Yeah, that was my text.
Oh, that was your text. I'm sorry.
Yeah, local 404.
Oh, 4. I thought it was local 804. Anyway,
No, 404.
so I didn't read it real quick. So anyway, that was your text that the company,
Yeah, my understanding was that the union's proposal for full-time was 9 hours over the 5 years with some of that front loaded, and the company came back with 7. So they were in the same ballpark. I mean, it probably would have landed somewhere around $8 an hour, but when they got to the part-time wages, they were so far apart. It's basically what broke down the
Realize that we
negotiations from what I understand. Right. Not that far apart. She's such an ignorant person. It's not even funny.
but so 7, I don't understand this company, because they went from 285 for the next 5 years for full-time wages, and all of a sudden they bumped it up to $7 an hour. So you mean to tell me you don't have room to do the same for the part-timers when you went from 285 to 7?
Hector, think about it though. They're used to 25 years of Hoffa taking care of the full-timers, and who cares about the part-timers, right? I mean, that's kind of what Hoffa said. I mean, he neglected them and allowed them to fall so far behind on the pay scale that, yeah, now to make it right, it's a giant pay raise, and UPS is going to fight it, right? So it's the company being used to the years and years and years of ignoring the part-timers is why they're thing. And personally, I think Sean, the reason a lot of part-timers say, well, why were we left to be last on the contract? Well, Sean's very smart, and he's had a plan since day one how he was going to approach this contract, right? So he went through the non-economical stuff and got that out of the way pretty easily because it didn't cost the company a lot of money, right? And then I think he went with the full-time stuff because the company's used to giving to the full-timers. And I think he saved that because ultimately he knew that that was going to be the biggest fight. And if we can get tentative agreements on all the other stuff, then we can fight about that. And just like in 97, we're going to end up on strike over the part-time issues and creating full-time jobs.
Do you feel that this strike is going to be more than 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks? If we go
Based on what I know from 1997 and now, this is just my personal opinion, is that one, I don't see how we avoid a strike. I absolutely think that more militant Sean O'Brien and ignorant Carol Tomei is a recipe for a strike. I just don't see us avoiding one. That being said, I also don't feel like it's going to last more than a week. My guess is somewhere between 4 to 7 days. And I say that because back in 1997, we were a smaller company. Okay. And at this point, we stand to lose the company stands to lose about $1 billion per week that we're on strike. And also, compared to 97, we now have stockholders to answer to. And the stockholders are not going to stomach a $1 billion loss per week if we go out on strike. So I think Carol's daring us to go on strike. I don't think she thinks we'll do it, but I see it ending very quickly because the shareholders are not going to put up with that kind of a loss when I don't know what the calculations are on the new contract language, but I highly doubt it's in the billions.
Till you realize that we're really not that far apart on the issues. We're
I
just
have-
not that far apart on the issues.
Go ahead, Pat. I'm gonna ask you a question, Pat. What do you feel? How long you been with the company? I wasn't in the 97 strike. I haven't been in the company that long, but I know a lot of people that's been in the 97 strike, and they feel that it's not going to be a 2-week strike because back then we didn't have 340,000 UPSers. Now this number is real high, and it will be the biggest and the biggest historical strike in any company. Will be the largest strike action in the United States. It will be the Teamsters if we go on strike. A lot of people don't want to go on strike, but you got to understand, no one wants to be on strike, but you have to stand your ground. And we have the right man there, Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman, to stand the ground. They said it from the beginning. They're not gonna fucking give anything up. Look at, he said he was gonna get the 22-4s dismissed from the contract. He got them dismissed from the regular 0300s after the contract is ratified. But guess what? He didn't take anything to get it. So that tells you a lot. Hoffa was taking stuff and giving stuff away. So anyway, Pat, go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so, since you asked me the question, I never was part-time, even though I look old, because I am. I only been here for 7 years as a driver, and I'm a steward. But I want to go back to Dan for a second. I get what you're saying about the part-time, about the same wage, but I just want to play a devil's advocate. Isn't it across all industries that part-timers make less than the people who work full-time in any company?
Right, but how many companies do you know that have part-timers and full-timers do the exact same job? Right. I'm not talking about one employee that. Right. I mean,
but also I would also disagree with you. And like I said, I was never part-time, that they would create more jobs, because I'm just going to use preload as an example. In my building in Melville, we really cannot create more full-time jobs because the work is not there this early in the morning. So that's the reason they want to bring people in at 4 o'clock in the morning, at 5 o'clock in the morning, because they can only support so many people, from midnight, from 1 a.m. start, because the work is not there yet.
All right, well, let me reverse the question on you, Pat. Okay.
Sure.
Based upon what I told you, the fact that in my building, my full-time preload makes the same exact rate as drivers. Okay. And a part-time preloader.
I think that's great.
Right. But my question to you is, reverse your own question. All the part-time preloads, which you're saying in your building, they can't do full-time because the loads don't get there, right? But they're doing the same exact job as our full-time preload, just on a part-time basis. And now you're saying it's also because the company can't get the loads there quick enough. So are you telling me that those guys doing the same exact job part-time, the same exact job, that they should be making 15, 16 bucks an hour instead of driver's rate?
I don't disagree with that. I agree, but I'm just saying that this is kind of like across many industries a standard. And let me ask you a question. Is your building a hub?
No, my building's not that big. We have maybe 125 routes in our building. And for whatever reason, there's 2 full-time preloads. They're both in Massachusetts. One's in Watertown, one's in Springfield, Massachusetts, where I'm from. But let me compare it to something else. Nowadays, you can almost get a job at McDonald's or a gas station for the same amount of money per hour that our part-timers are making. And not to degrade McDonald's workers or gas stations, but the work at UPS that our part-timers do is so physically demanding. They work in buildings that are sweat boxes, high risk of injury, and they're making the same amount of money as if they stood behind a register at McDonald's and put food in a bag and handed it to a customer. Does not sound right to me at all.
Dan, I don't disagree with that. I do. I'm not degrading that.
No. I'm just making another point that there's. I mean, we're never going to go back to 1983. Okay, I'm not delusional that we're ever going to get back to a point where the part timers make the same as full timers. That's not my point. My point is that, although the company is going to be like, wow, how can we give these people a $10 bump from day one? That's ridiculous. The problem is their paychecks have been getting smaller over the years. Yes, they get small pay raises, but with inflation, their paychecks are actually smaller than they were in 1983. So it's just, I guess taking a step back, my argument really is about the fact that our members need to start not caring what other members are making, right? It doesn't matter if you're full-time or part-time, right? This company has more money, and the only people that are going to lose money if we bring the part-timers up to a good wage is the Wall Street, right? I mean, who cares? Wall Street does not need to make all the money that they're making off of this company. They need to invest in their employees. And for a full-timer who's making $40+ an hour to go on to social media and make out like our part-timers are either lazy or don't deserve a major pay bump, it needs to end. We are stronger as one union than we are as 340,000 Teamsters, individual teams.
Disagree with that. Listen, there's always going to be keyboard warriors. That's what I call them. And they're in every local, they're in every building. And those are the people, when you meet them on the box line and you question about something, they go mute. They don't want to say anything. And they come from texting that stuff. And absolutely, don't get me wrong. I don't stand against part-timers. I definitely know that part-timers got to get paid a lot more. You know, I'm happy in your local that they get in as much as the driver, but I'm being just realistic. I don't think that's going to happen across the country.
No, and don't get me wrong. I just think that the part-timers, it's not even just about the wages. It's not just about this or just about that. It's just, you would take everything that the part-timers go through, and they are getting the short end of the stick on absolutely everything. Okay, these guys come in, they're promised to go full-time at some point, and then it takes years and years for them to get the opportunity. And like now, they got the 22-4s coming in, but then the 22-4s a lot of them got laid off, so they bumped part-timers, even though they may not have had as many. The part-timer may have had more years of service than the 22-4s.
Yeah, that was a big problem here.
Right, but now you got guys who've been on preload or been part-timers for twice as long as that 22-4s worked for the company, and they're getting bumped because the other person's full-time. I mean, I don't know exactly what the answer is, but my overall point is that the part-timers are getting shafted at every turn.
Yep.
And I just want to encourage members to refrain from fighting each other on Facebook and social media and all that stuff. We are a union of one. And if we fight it as 340 individual members, we are going to get crushed in this contract. And I just want to see more solidarity. That's my main thing.
And Dan, I don't disagree with you on that 100%. That you know, if anybody disagree with it on that one, I think you're crazy and you're in a union for the wrong reason. I get it. And I want to go back to Hector. So I've been here for 7 years. I'm about to start my 8th year. And you asked me about the strike and all that stuff. And I think we got so much stuff done. I think the company is playing, hardball. But at the end of the day, I really do believe that on the 11th hour, I think it's going to come to some kind of agreement. But on the other hand, on a flip coin of that, if we go on strike, I'm ready. I know guys in my building are ready, and we're ready to go. And if it's going to be a strike, then it's going to be a strike. And I believe they're only going to hurt themselves.
Absolutely.
So
can I say something right there?
Hold on. We just got Anthony on the chat. Anthony, do you want to chime in on anything?
His phone is muted, so.
Thank you for having me on here. I had just sent you, Hector, the flyer, because over here at 705 we're getting our practice picket started, and there's actually a brand new building. It just opened up. I think it was on June. The first full day was on June 20th. So I think it's been about 3 weeks now, and I work out of that building. I formerly worked out of Jeff Street. Anyway, the new building is only 4 miles away from Jeff Street. It's called Morgan Street, and we're actually doing practice pickets together because a lot of us came from Jeff Street, and it's gonna be off the chain. So I just wanted to, 705 is throwing down. So thank you for having me on here.
Thank you for coming on and letting us know about 705 and the practice picket lines, and it's throughout the whole United States. And they're showing a lot of members that are pissed off and are willing to strike. And the company is looking and very worried about what's going on and how we practice it. I don't know in 97 because I don't no one's here from 97. Did they ever do a practice picket line on 97? It was never done, right? This is the first time in the history of Teamsters of doing it. I'm glad somebody came up with it because it shows the company that we're gonna practice and we're gonna fucking show you what. And as we doing practices, the customers are watching. And they're supporting the UPS workers, the members, as they go by, blowing their horn, talking. Yes, the company has a lot of money. They should give what we deserve, and that's what Sean wants. He wants everything that the members deserve before he sends that out to the membership for a ratification.
Hector, I just want to give a shout out to my local 404. We're kind of a quiet local, but today we had our practice picket. We chose to do it on a Sunday so more members could be involved because we only have about 700 UPS members in our local. And we had a pretty solid turnout, and we had all the news stations were there. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, they were all there. So we're on all the channels out here in Western Mass. And it was a pretty strong showing, and we're pretty psyched about how today turned out. So 404 rocked it today.
That's right. Congrats. Thanks for coming out for all the 404 guys to do that practice picket line. The more, the merrier, the better. The company sees that everybody's united together as one to the right cause. The right cause is the right wages and the right contract for our fellow members, brothers and sisters. Okay, Jamie, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
No, I just wanted to reiterate what.
And you still haven't put on a shirt, bro. I don't want to look at you.
I got a shirt on. What you talking about?
Okay.
I wanted to reiterate what Dan has said. As far as the pay raise, why is other classifications worried about what other classifications are making? You shouldn't be worrying about that. Let them, if they want to, as he said, it's not your money. We complain that when we ask supervisors for this, or managers, we tell them it's not their money. So why are we complaining or worrying about them giving pay increases or making part-timers or anybody just giving them the same rate as what we get? That's not your worry.
Am I hearing this right? Are you saying that if you get a good wage as a full-timer and the part-timer doesn't get a good wage, you will ratify the contract?
No. What I'm saying is, as a full-timer, you shouldn't be worrying or concerning yourself with what the part-timer is getting. If their company can give them the same rate that we get, let them give them. It's not our money.
I agree with that.
Just like we tell a manager, well, we need the overtime, and they say, oh, we tell them it's not their money. It's not our money. So why are we so concerned and down and criticizing them? Oh, they don't deserve it. And it shouldn't be like that. So
I think part of that,
I want to reiterate that.
I think part of that is that people are in fear that if one classification gets a bigger pay raise, that they won't get their share of it. But this company this is the absolute stars and moons are aligned for this contract because there's enough money to go around to each and every classification without affecting how much each classification is going to get. And the fact is that us full-timers have been getting our due in almost every single contract. We may not have liked some of the stuff that came out in those contracts, but in all, we're all doing pretty well for ourselves. And it's about time that we bring our part-timers up from near minimum wage standards. And if not to full-time wages, but even 25 plus. I mean, these guys deserve a major bump in their paychecks because we couldn't deliver the packages if they didn't load them, if they didn't get them on the trailers, if they didn't unload the trailers. So, even if it meant the full-timers, which it's not, by the way, but even if it meant the full-timers took a lesser pay raise to give the part-timers a bigger bump this time, I'm 100% behind it as a full-timer because, I live pretty comfortably and I hate the fact that we have so many part-timers that, and I don't like the fact that the part-time is considered lazy or whatever. No. There are single moms that they're also the primary caretaker of their kids and they can't work full time and take care of their kids. So they work at UPS part-time to get the insurance and the benefits. It doesn't mean they should make the same amount of money as a McDonald's or a gas station attendant. Sorry.
Absolutely. I never was a part-time, but I'm now that I'm a BA, I roll up my sleeves. And when I see a supervisor working, I go and do local sort. I did local sort. I did sorting. I did I did a whole 2 sets of a truck. I did unloading I did everything and I'm telling you right now, that is hard fucking work. You just come in and your truck is already packed up. You got to imagine that preloader doing 4 trucks and loading it up like the way when you come, you go there and maybe something is not in the right place that you want it to be. But guess what? That truck is loaded and they load over 1,000 pieces a day in those trucks. So they do a lot of work and they deserve a better wage. And I guarantee you, if this company is fucking just listens to Sean O'Brien and say, listen, you're going to get better. You're going to have a low turnover. You're going to have better guys coming into it because they feel they come to work now and they respect it from the wages and the medical. And I'm telling you, it will be a big difference of the part-timers coming in happy because some of them don't want to come in at 3 o'clock in the morning making $16 an hour. That's a bullshit. While they know that Amazon is making $19 an hour. So, yes, go ahead, Pat. Before we close up,
back to the point. Yes, there is. Like I walk the box lines every day, and you know that. And yes, there is a bunch of part timers who are there every day, and they like their job, and they do care, and they do put a good low quality. But unfortunately, because the money is not there, it's a revolving door, and people come and go. And you get a guy for 2 weeks and you just throw this shit in there and the drivers, full-timers get pissed off. But I think exactly because if they will get paid more, you will get people who care more and they're going to care about, like you said, coming to work every day and doing a better job, making sure that everybody's happy.
Exactly. So with that said, Aaron, you have anything to say before I close out? How about you, Matt? You good? All right, we passed the 1 hour mark, and I know Dan's like saying, "Do a 2 hour show, do a 2 hour."
Yeah, hey, come on, man.
I got to have a life too, Dan.
Hey, do me a favor though. Before we close out, allow me to screen share for 1 minute. You have it disabled.
How do you do that?
It's in your settings on your Zoom. It'll say participant screen sharing.
I don't know how to get there. I'm new to this. I just started sharing this today, and this is what I'm going to share. I'm going to share to you my YouTube channel. To subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is the first time I don't know how to do this shit. My girl showed me how to do this today, and I was ready to get
Hector. All
right.
Hector, be careful what you share, Hector.
What?
Be careful what you share.
I don't share anything. I don't share anything with you. But anyway, Dan, I guess we could do it for another show. You could show me how to open up the share because I don't.
All right.
With this show, I don't care who, what, and how. If you want to say whatever you want to say and put whatever you want to say, you want to put naked pictures of yourself. It's all okay here in Union Power Radio. This is uncensored. It's not recorded. It's not editing. So this is what it is.
Hey. I told you to knock that shit off.
No, I'm not gonna knock this shit off because that's the way I talk and that's the way I do things. But
anyway,
all right,
wait, Aaron, if I can't show the video, I'm still gonna air the sound. Wait, listen to this.
All right, what is it? Can't hear nothing.
Not yet.
Can't hear anything. Can't hear anything. Can't hear.
You can't hear that?
No, we cannot hear that. But anyway, with that said, thanks, Anthony, for coming on from 705. They're going to be doing their practice run this week. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Jamie, for coming in late. Pat, thank you for coming in early. Dan, thank you for coming for the last 10 minutes. And Aaron, thank you for showing up. And everyone that's listening to the What the Heck show here on Union Power Radio, I still don't hear it. We still don't hear it.
Oh, well.
Well,
come on, Dan, get with it.
Next time, Dan. Next time.
Hey, listen, I'm not the one that doesn't know how to change his settings.
Tell me just to make you happy. Now I'm in the settings now. What do I do then?
There should be a setting for screen sharing.
Settings for screen sharing. Prefer. Okay, now where do I go to that for the video?
Yeah, it should be one that says participants screen share.
Doesn't say that.
That's all right. We'll do it another time.
Okay, sorry guys.
That's all right. No worries.
I'm
No
not
worries.
technically a thing. Anyway, thank you for calling. Thank you for listening to the What the Heck show here on Union Power Radio. And we're gonna be looking up what's going on in this contract. Hopefully the company will call Sean O'Brien and says deal and let's get it all with and get the part-timers paid and everybody be happy, full-timers, part-timers. And the company
Solidarity, everybody.
Exactly. And the company is going to try. It's going to try. Guys, don't take the bait. They're going to try to put full-timers versus part-timers. Don't listen to that. Listen to Sean O'Brien and Fred Zuckerman. We're going to get through this. We're going to get a good contract, the best
What's up, Aaron?
ever. So stay tuned. And
What's up, Dan?
we go on strike. I'll be on the air every fucking day on strike. Well, I'll be on the picket line. I'll do it live from the picket line. But anyway, Union Power Radio, the What the Heck show here. I'm gonna try to do every Sunday. I did it 2 Sundays straight. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Jamie, for coming in, and thank everyone for listening to the What the Heck show. I will be putting this on podcast, so look it up in podcasts everywhere in all the podcast words. Peace out, my brothers and sisters.
Peace out.